Hey guys, Valid Venture Investing here today. So we have some really big news on Patriot One Technologies. At least I think this is really big news myself, and the market tends to agree. Let's take a look at the stock right now. It's been up about 11.5 as of recording this today percent. Yesterday I believe it was up 7-8%, something like that. So we've seen it rally in the last 2-3 days like 20-21%. And you know, if you were wondering why, there's some very good news on the company, and I think this is a stock that I've recommended before, and I recommend now as a time that I really want to start looking at it. So if you're not aware of what Patriot One technology is, it's actually, in a very simplistic form, a radar technology that detects weapons. It's kind of like a metal detector, although it's so much more than that. It's a metal detector that can distinguish simply like some metal, some keys in your pocket from an actual weapon. So what this is using, it's actually detecting the wavelengths with this radio frequency. It's using machine learning, and it's being able to detect what kind of weapon somebody has, and it's being able to relay that information almost anywhere. In some of their videos, they're showing it to smartphones or to security centers, police stations, wherever, and give those people a heads up. And the people that are coming into these events or a building or wherever it may be are not even aware, because this is technology that you can put behind a wall. It's very small, it's very easy to hide in many different areas, and it's very invasive too, right? It's not like somebody standing there with a metal detector you know, going up the side of you or something like that. And I think that this is a stock that you might see in this really volatile market right now actually hold its own pretty well, because it's a very bipartisan sort of stock. And by that I mean is that if you're in the far right in the United States, this is a Canadian company, but it's pushing in the United States. If you're in the very far right, people are all pro-gun. You know, you're on the very far left, people are like no guns. But I think this is a solution for everybody, right? This doesn't infringe on anybody's rights. The people on the far left, they want no guns. They don't want people coming into these places. But the people on the right, they want to allow everyone to have guns, but I mean, not in every situation. If you're walking into, you know, a stadium or something, you don't need specific weapons on you or whatever. So it's a very good technology that I think everybody can agree with. So looking at the video here, as you can see, it's basically detecting, you know, this is a very stylized version of it here, but it's detecting the weapons in real time. Showing that these weapons, that these devices can be placed in inconspicuous places, and they have many videos on the website that show this. So I would recommend going there and taking a look at it if you're not super familiar. You can always watch my last video. I'll put a link right up here right now to my last video. I believe it was the first video that I ever made of their technology. So the question is, you know, kind of what's been going, how they've been progressing with their technology. Right now, let's kind of take a look at the rollout of their technology. So they're calling this lab to marketplace. So basically this has been the timeline of what has been going, and it seems like they've been progressing very rapidly, and this is another reason that I'm very interested in this stock. Phase one, I mean, this was before I was a shareholder, and I mean, too bad you couldn't have gotten the stock when it was very low. You would have made a ton of money. I just barely missed that. But phase one was basically this technology came from McMaster University. It's a little bit complicated, but they're licensing this from this university. There's other partners that are involved and such. But that was basically phase one. Phase two, they were, you know, basically doing the same sort of thing, but they were looking for compliance in the USA, Canada. And it was huge news when they got FDA approval. And that was around that time. And that's when I became very bullish on the stock. Phase three, they basically kind of started, I mean, I was watching it very closely at this time. They were looking into, you know, testing this technology. So they're calling it live environmental research. So they had development centers, they call them. One was at Westgate, Las Vegas Resort. There was a lot of information on that. That was kind of like the first news that actually broke out that this, you know, that this technology might go somewhere. The CEO was talking about it with the company, and it was being tested there. There's still not a lot of information I can find about that, but that was one of the first one. They also have some other areas, University of North Dakota. So this basically went on, they're saying, until September 2008. They had updates here and there. I didn't pay attention to them too much because They do give you a lot of updates on the information that's going on with the company. It just shows you that they're really on it. They're really pushing it hard. This could be big technology. Now, phase 4. So this is the paid pilot deployment. So this is basically where they're at right now. They're still in the the resorts and the casinos. They do have one undisclosed, and I believe that they're still undisclosed at this time, law enforcement partner, which was huge when I heard that news. But they're basically going to be trying to, I guess, I'm assuming, make some money off this development. But I'm very interested for Q2 in 2019, and they're saying market rollout. So resellers, it sounds like they have 12 partners. Markets, they're saying 11 countries. And the top prospects, they're saying they got some Fortune 100, they got some, schools, which they kind of already have, casinos, whatnot. And they have interest, they're saying, from 5 tech firms. So, I mean, their roadmap is just, it's just like bam, 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 full of just amazing things. And they've been keeping pace. Like, this is not just all talk, right? This is very, very, very good news. So the next thing I wanted to show you guys here is I wanted to show you some of the other news that had come out that I didn't necessarily cover. The first one was regarding Cisco technology. So this was back in October of 2018. So Patriot Technologies basically partnered, they collaborated with Cisco Systems, which is a huge, huge company. They're saying that these efforts will assist effective commercial development of the PET scan family of threat detection solutions. The article goes on to read, Patriot One's work with Cisco is underway. Engineers from both companies have been reviewing the PET scan threat detection solutions and evaluating ways to advance framework architecture and data management. In addition, last week, this is the article from before, Patriot One engineers joined other Cisco partners to showcase the company's PET scan family of threat detection solutions to Cisco's largest clients and partners. So that in itself is some pretty big news. Just getting the publicity, and Patriot One has been very good at getting some publicity on the company here. So this article goes on to talk about a lot of different things. There's a lot of information. There's just a lot of filler in here. But I mean, the point is, the main point there is Cisco. This is a huge company, and this lends some huge credibility to Patriot One Technologies. And so I haven't been following it too much since then, but there's just some news that just came out. This was on the 20th of December here, and this news really caught my attention, and it seemed to have caught the attention of the market as well. So it says, Patriot One provides corporate update. So the company moves to paid trials with global research network for schools and university, resorts, casino, retail, and government facilities. The article goes on to say, paid trials aim to ultimately transition into commercial deployment, effectively launching product rollout. The company will finalize policies, procedures, terms, and PET scan installation training with its resellers in preparation for ongoing commercial activity in Q2 2019. They go on here to show their 3 business goals that were achieved. Yeah, these are very interesting as well. There's also some more funding that was secured. We're seeing a lot of dilution in their shares, but to be quite honest, this is something I usually don't like too much. If you don't know what dilution is, it's issuing more shares. So current shareholders obviously do not own as much of the company. But when you're just a new company trying to make headroads, you need money, you need cash, you need capital, financial capital. You need to do that. So, I mean, there's been a lot of that lately. Also here, the University of North Dakota testing, and they go on to mention some other things as well. But the big thing that really caught my eye, and I think that caught the market's eye here, let's take a look at this. Defense Contractor Partnership. Our partner, a major international defense contractor, is anticipating government approval in the coming weeks, at which time a detailed announcement will be made. So this is huge news for Patriot One Technologies, and this is something that really caught my eye, and I think I'm going to add to the position. I didn't have any cash available in my account, so I've missed out on about 20% return so far. but I think that it's a good buy right now. So a lot of this is supposition. We're sitting here, we're guessing what's going to happen, we're guessing what's going on. When you look into their financials, there's really not much there. It doesn't provide that much value. But let's take a quick look right now of a couple things that I could pick out. So the first thing that we run onto here on the financial statements is the balance sheet. Now, as you can see, this shows from July 31st, 2018 to October 1st, or 31st, 2018. And these are the two different time periods that they're showing. Now, balance sheet is as at, so it's showing as at that specific time what's on the balance sheet, right? So this is showing one quarter to the next. You can see here that cash and cash equivalents has increased substantially. And you also see that short-term investments has dropped like crazy. So, I mean, that's something right there. You're saying, okay, they're trying to build up some cash. What's going on there? How did that happen? We'll get back to that in a little bit here. Another notable thing here is the, of course, income statement. And, you know, we're really not seeing anything right here. We have some interest income, but, you know, we're seeing a comprehensive loss of, you know, a huge amount here, and it's deepening. But this is something that can be expected, right? I look past this kind of stuff because this is early stage type of thing, right? When we look at the cash flow statement here, we can see what they've actually done. When you look down at cash flow from investing activities, you can see that they've reclassed their short-term investments to cash. So I saw that and I thought, wow, that's, you know, that's quite a interesting thing to do. I haven't seen many companies do that. I don't think I recall ever seeing any company do that before, actually. But it definitely shows you that they're very cash hungry right now. So what does that make you think? I mean, they need cash. So they're, you know, they're partnering here. They have a huge defense contractor. To me, I take this as things are on the up pace. Things are going crazy. This is just guessing. This is, you know, this is all the information that we have right now. But it seems to be some very positive news in terms of developing and implementing this technology. Again, here you can see the cash and cash equivalents at the end of the period was significantly higher. There's a lot of other information on this financial statements, or on these financial statements rather, that's valuable. A lot has to do with compensation for executives and such, but this one was a bit interesting as well. This is license, assignment, and option fees. So I'm not going to go into this because this is actually a bit confusing, but it basically explains the, you know, the position that they entered in this agreement with Bull Run, with McMaster. But the big thing that I took out of this is it doesn't look really huge what they're paying in terms of licensing fees, in terms of the percentage of the revenue they're going to have to give up to obtain this technology. And if they become big, I don't think this is going to be a very big deal. So now that we've kind of looked at some of the news that's come out, we've looked through their financial statements, let's take a look at the charts. Like I've said to you guys before, I'm no technical analyst, but sometimes I like to look at it to see what's happening, to give you an idea of kind of how the shares are reacting with different little technical indicators that sometimes I look at. So looking at the chart here, we can see that just recently here, at the beginning of the year, it's begun to accelerate pretty quick. We see that the RSI, which is basically buying pressure, is at around 51, depending on the time range that you put. So it's not overbought really per se. We've seen the moving average. It's kind of dipped above this long-term moving average. Well, long-term, say in the last 2 years or so. So it's definitely got a lot of the bullish indicators in terms of technical analysis. And you can see that I think, you know, it's probably quite likely that it's going to hit those all-time highs pretty soon here. So taking all these things into account, I mean, I think this is huge news for Patriot One. I know that some of you guys have been, you know, requesting that I do an update on this. I've been a little bit hesitant to do it because it's really hard to get information on this company. Like I said, the financial statements, there's not much there. There's a lot of news that comes out. They have a lot of publicity with the company, but you have to sift through and you have to see what's very important. Like the Cisco one was very important, and I think that this defense contractor one is extremely important. So I wanted to get this video out to you guys as quick as I could. Sorry that it's really late in the night that it came out. I wish I would have got it out to you guys a couple days ago, but I was working on other videos. But my recommendation, and of course this is just my recommendation, is that this is an amazing buy right now. The broad market, I might not pulling this down, but I'm going to be adding to my position a little bit. I'd love to hear from you guys. Like, leave some comments down below what you think is going on right now, if there's any other information that I missed. I tried to sift through this very quickly, get as much relevant information as I could to you guys so you could take a look at it and see what I'm talking about. But yeah, hit that like button, make sure you subscribe, turn on those notifications too, because like I've said to you guys before, that way if there is something that's time sensitive like this that you want to look at, you'll get the notification that I made the video. Anyway, that's going to be it for today, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.